Equipment troubleshooting is a key part of many investigations out there, and we have a great part of TapRooT that can help you with this. Welcome back to TapRooT TV. I'm Benna Hughes, and I'm here today with Ken Reed, our
Benna.
Equifactor expert.
Expert, I like the sound of that.
You are.
Yeah, let's try that.
You used to be guru, now you're the expert.
I don't know if that's an up or down, but that's all right.
Well, we're going to show people a very special part of Equifactor. We've done several Equifactor videos in the past, and we can put some links to those so you can see a little bit more about it. But today we're going to tell you about some customization.
Right.
Really fascinating part of it if you have the software.
That's right.
You need the software.
You do have to have the software. As a matter of fact, you have to have the enterprise software
Yep.
even for the customization piece. That's an enterprise, a multi-user function. But the software and the customization piece works really well because with Equifactor, we have, as when they go to those links, you'll be able to see where you can go in and pull up those pre-made tables.
Yes.
And be able to pull up special pieces of equipment that we have included in there, which includes all kinds of stuff, you know, the pumps and compressors and things like that.
And some people have some specialty equipment.
That's right, and some people have specialty equipment. So if you just want to use, here's a new Equifactor book. It's
a wonderful book.
It is. It's got all kinds of stuff, and in the back are the hard copies of those tables. So those tables are all in the back, and these are exactly the same tables that are already built into the TapRooT software. However, you may have some specialty equipment.
Yes.
You might have some very special stuff that you decide you would like to have your own troubleshooting tables for. And we give you the ability to provide and produce your own specialized, customized Equifactor tables. And that's what we want to talk about today, is how to do
Let's
those.
do it.
Let's do that.
Can we show them how we're going to do this?
We can, yeah. So what we'll do, what I like to do is just go into the software, kind of open up kind of a generic example, and then I'll show you what the real tables look like, the ones that are there, and then we'll come back out a little bit and look at the customization features.
Sounds great.
Okay, let's do that.
Let's get to it.
Okay. So in the software, we are going to be able to pull up, let's pull up this one example here. This is a failed pump example that we've got here. And I'm not going to go into a whole lot of details here, but remember you go into the Equifactor tables through the snap chart. So I'm opening up a snap chart. And the Equifactor tables are over here on this left-hand tab here that says Optional Techniques. So I'm going to click on that.
Lots of good stuff under that.
There's all kinds of stuff in there, yeah. And you would start up your own Equifactor table basically by clicking on this button here. You come in and put up your own. I'm just going to put a test table in here, test pump table. Let's call it pumps. That way we know what we're looking at. And we'll create that table. And that now preloads the Equifactor tables that we have included with the software. And you can see it's got all kinds of stuff in here. Down here is the pump tables and the different sets of tables.
Now these have been put together a lot for oil and gas industries and things like that, correct?
Right. A lot of these are, remember, they're based on Heinz Block's experience. And he's well, he still does work with the oil and gas industry quite extensively. But these were put together based on his tables and his experience mainly in the oil and gas industry. So it includes a lot of rotating equipment and generators and things like that. So you may decide, so again, I'll pull this up and you can see in centrifugal pumps all these different symptoms and possible causes that you might have for a particular failure mode. If you decide though that I have a set of tables that just aren't, I have a piece of equipment that we don't have a table for. What you would do is, I'm going to come out of this now, close out of this, I'm going to close our snap chart here. And I'm going to come back to our main home page here. So in the home page, we can now go in and go into the administrative functions here. So all the way at the top here in this admin menu, there's going to be a section down here. As I scroll down, you'll see an Equifactor section down here at the bottom. And this Equifactor section allows you now to start adding your own custom tables into the Equifactor software. And you can see in here, I don't know if anybody noticed, but there's this, you'll see a table here that says Power Stroke Diesel. That's actually a custom table. That doesn't come with our software. I made that just to kind of play around at one point.
Is that why it has extra little icons at the end
of it? It does. It's got some extra stuff here. It allows me to delete this one, as a matter of fact. I can't delete the hard copy tables, the hard formatted tables here, but I can do the ones that I've changed myself.
Okay.
You'll see across the top up here, it's got the generic tabs that we have. We have equipment and valves and components and those up here. If you wish, you can even add an additional category up here if you wish. You can add your own special categories by hitting this add category, and it adds a totally new set of tabs up across the top. You can add your own tab. I'm going to stay in the equipment side, and let's say I wanted to add a new type of equipment. So you'll see down through here I already have conveyor belts and engines and motors, and here's those pumps we were talking about. Let's say that you wanted to have a set of tables in here. Let's see, what's a good example? Maybe you have hydraulics.
Okay.
Maybe you have a hydraulic equipment that you want to do. Maybe
there's a lot of those.
There's a lot of hydraulics out there. Maybe hydraulic control valves. So I don't have any hydraulic control valves anywhere in this system. So I can come up here and add a new equipment type. Now this will add it under the equipment tab. That's the one that's highlighted. And it'll say, what do I want to call this? I'm going to call it hydraulics. Let's just do hydraulics first of all. And I'm going to create that. Okay. And now over here, underneath here, you'll see there's a new category called hydraulics.
Easy.
Very simple to do, real easy. And now under here, there may be all kinds of different hydraulics that you want to put in. I mentioned control valves. So I'll put that type of sub-equipment in here. So to hydraulics here, I'm going to add a subtype to that. So let's add a subtype here, and let's call it control valves. Okay, so I got hydraulic control valves now. So now under hydraulics, once this finishes loading here, I have control valves.
There it is.
And if I had other hydraulics in here, I could have hydraulic pumps, I could have hydraulic pistons and actuators. I could have all kinds of stuff down here as other types of hydraulic systems that I want to troubleshoot. Now under this, if I had different categories of control valves, I could continue making these subcategories underneath this. I'm going to stop here at control valves, and I'm going to say we just want to start adding some problems we might see with hydraulic control valves. So I'm going to add a symptom here. And this is going to now start looking just like the rest of the old, the already installed Equifactor tables.
Sure.
So I'm going to say actuates, oops, can't type here, actuates too slow. Okay, so that's the problem I've got, is my control valve is actuating too slow. So I've got to, now under equipment, I have hydraulics, control valves, and a symptom I might have of a control valve, I might actuate too slow.
Right.
And maybe it operates too quickly, and maybe it's sluggish, and maybe it goes in the wrong direction. I mean, there's a lot of different symptoms that you might see here.
Where do you get this information?
Well, that's a great question. Hopefully you have some experts. That's where you usually start these, is your experts, usually pieces of equipment that you troubleshoot a lot at your company, and say, man, I wish, what happens when Joe leaves?
Yeah.
Joe's my hydraulic control valve expert, and when he leaves, what are we going to do? So you can have Joe start putting these tables together so that your new people, as they start coming in, are going to have Joe's knowledge built into the Equifactor tables.
I mean, there may be like manuals someplace that have troubleshooting in the back, I'm assuming.
That's right.
I could pull the information from there.
Exactly right. You could go to the vendor tech manuals on these and start pulling their troubleshooting tables. Some of their tables are good and some aren't very good. So it gives you the opportunity to start pulling those. Maybe you call the vendor and say, hey, how come this valve isn't operating right? He says, well, here's a bunch of things that you might look at. Well, those are some possible causes in here that you can start putting in. So a lot of opportunities for you to go out and just pull in these different areas where you might see some problems.
It's not working.
That's right. It broke, right?
It wasn't plugged in.
It wasn't plugged in as an example. Yeah. So this will give you lots of opportunities here to start adding. And I'll probably stop here. I think you can see where this will go at this point. And I could add possible causes of this symptom, then what could cause an actuator to operate too slowly. It could be clogged filters inside it. It could be worn bushings and all those kinds of things. So all these things can be added under the symptom here as possible causes.
That's super easy.
Yeah, pretty simple. Yeah. So you can use these Equifactor tables now as a great opportunity now to capture your expert's knowledge, and especially probably on that piece of equipment that you've been having problems with all the time, or that you expect you're going to be troubleshooting a lot. So it gives you a lot of opportunity to pull that specialized equipment that you personally at your company have.
Right. And I mean, and again, this is one of those key components of being able to have the software.
That's right.
To be able to, I mean, you can think about over years how much information you can build up
Yeah.
the data and the references that you could build up for people to rely on.
Exactly. This is over time where you just build up this huge library of equipment and causes and problems. I guess you could take the book and start writing stuff in here.
You could.
You could. It's just going to be kind of a pain to do that, but I mean, that's an option for you, but the software makes it so easy.
But it's also great because equipment is changing very quickly.
It is.
The way things work.
Yeah, you may find yourself putting categories up at the top. For example, maybe you have to have programmable logic controllers and all kinds of stuff that maybe you didn't have to used to worry about. Now you've got all kinds of stuff that you have to worry about in here. Yeah.
Well, this is awesome. Well, so Equifactor, let's talk briefly about who, because we have an Equifactor course.
Right.
Who should come to that course?
Yeah, the Equifactor course is a really cool course for different people at your company. You may just have, for example, maybe your HSE people just want to know a little bit more about equipment troubleshooting. So they might just come to a piece of the course and just learn a little bit about the Equifactor tables. But really, this is directed more at your troubleshooting team. So you can have your maintenance people come to this course. Your reliability experts, you know, why do I keep having this pump? It should last for 8 years and I'm rebuilding this thing every 6 months, you know.
Right.
So your reliability guys can take a look at this. You can have your engineers come in and take a look, and they're another great source sometimes of input into these tables, by the way. But those are all great people to come into an Equifactor course.
Well, and the more they know what value they can get out of this, that's great. They can participate more in building your tables and things like that if they know you have a place to put it.
That's right. So you know you're
Becomes a great
documenting it and not
reference.
losing it.
Yes.
Yeah. And remember that Equifactor course is designed to be a TapRooT / Equifactor course. So if you want people to learn TapRooT and Equifactor at the same time, they could come to the full 2-day course.
Okay.
If they only want to, you know, if maybe your people just want to learn more equipment troubleshooting stuff, they could just come to the first day
Okay.
and just learn a little bit more about Equifactor itself and how to do troubleshooting and not get into the TapRooT piece of it quite as much. So there's a lot of options that we have available.
So that
to
is a
your
good
people.
opportunity for your, mechanics and things like that, the maintenance people that aren't necessarily going to do the investigation.
Correct.
But they need to be a great resource, and they can help start building these and working through all this.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep, lots of opportunities.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So how do people learn this? Where do they go?
Well, we have some Equifactor courses. So a couple options there. We do have some public courses, and those are still on. I know we've had to do some juggling of our schedules here in the current health situation. And I talked about that. You and I both talked about that in the last session where we talked about the precautions we're taking. So we do have some courses set up, and you can take a look on our website for public courses and see where those are set up specifically for Equifactor. Or we can come right to your site.
Yeah,
and
that's the best.
That's really the best, and we can come right in there. We are holding on-site courses right now. Obviously, not as many as we used to, but companies are starting to ramp back up a little bit, and we're able to show how we can be responsible and very careful about how we're putting these courses on. So, so we're starting to book quite a few of the on-site courses now. So.
It's great. Really important part of your TapRooT program, your incident investigation program, because equipment is so often part of it.
Always seems like one of your causal factors, right? One of those causal factors is the equipment failed.
In there. So that's why, most companies are going to want to have some Equifactor training. And to get more information about that, you go to our website at taproot.com. You can email us at info@taproot.com. We've got some videos we're going to link to so you can get a little more information, because we've got a few out there that kind of give you a little more idea. Because I think we've gone through some incidents.
We have. We've walked through some examples of how to use Equifactor.
So we'll definitely do that for you. So really, I think every company should have at least one group trained in Equifactor.
I think so too. It's going to come up on your investigations at some point, so it's good to have that resource ready to go.
And the software.
And the software.
You'll want the software. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us today. Please subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell. Let us know what you do to investigate equipment. Do you just pull out the book? Do you just ask your guys? Do you have a resource? We'd love to know. So comment below and let us know what you all are using to troubleshoot your equipment. And if you want more information, like we said, contact us at info@taproot.com. Follow us on all of our social media platforms and join us back here next week. Thank you.
Bye-bye.